I never can remember how that song went. Henrietta, is that... No need to scream, darling. What's wrong? I'm a ghost. Henrietta, what are you talking about? I've been dead for years, you know that. Good heavens, you aren't Henrietta, are you? I suppose you do look a little young, but you look just like her. Her hair, her face, her eyes. Oh, that sounded worrisome, didn't it? I'm so sorry. I'm not going to hurt you. If you can just take a deep breath, I can explain everything. Darling, I promise, there isn't a violent bone in my body. Or any bones, for that matter. But that isn't the point. The point is, you're perfectly safe. Here, I'll put the broom down. There. I'm raising my hands, darling. I surrender. I'm not going to do anything. Yes, you have correctly identified me as a ghost. But that doesn't mean I want to haunt you or possess you or any of those dreadful things from stories. I'm here to help you. Yes, help. I see you've got the key to the mansion, and you do look just like Henrietta. You must be a relative. Grandniece? I suppose that's why we've never met. You're a more distant relative, quite literally. But not to worry. I've kept the mansion spick and span since she left. It's all ready for you. Yes, for you, darling. You inherited the mansion, didn't you? That makes all of this yours. The floors, the walls, everything inside. And me. I am at your beck and call. I get the impression that you may be a little stunned still. Let me start from the beginning. I am the head maid of this household. I knew well, I suppose she's your great-aunt's great-great-great-great-grandmother, Eleanor. She lived on this property in a mansion quite similar to this one. The actual building has been rebuilt a few times, but I was her maid, and more importantly, her best friend. We grew up together and, well, I was always a good maid. I won't get into the details of my untimely demise, but fortunately for me, I suppose, my soul didn't leave. I still had work to do here at the mansion, so I stayed. I was still Eleanor's maid. Eventually, she grew up. She had children and then grandchildren. All the while, I kept serving. I still feel youthful, and I'm told I don't look a day over 20. And I had no reason not to stay with the family I love. Over the years, having a full fleet of servants fell out of fashion. The staff shrank and shrank until it was just me. Oh, and the Roombas, they help a lot too. As you know, my last mistress was the lovely Henrietta. I served her the best I could and loved her with all my heart. But I suppose you know, that didn't save her. She sent a letter off to her next of kin, and it looks like that was you. Darling, are you still focused on my living conditions? I understand if you are. All of the other mistresses grew up with me, but this must be quite a shock for you, isn't it? Well, there's only one way to cure shock, I suppose. Acclimation. I'm going to get a little closer, if that's all right. Here, take my hand. Yes, darling, really, take it. I'm a lot closer to alive than you might expect. See? You can still touch me and see me and look into my eyes. I'm just a little cold. I have to focus to become intangible, so most of the time I'm just a normal girl. Well, a normal girl that glows a little bit. Now, mistress, what did you say your name was? Oh, that's a lovely name, mistress. Now, I imagine if you didn't know about me, you probably haven't been told much about the mansion. Would you like a tour, mistress? Perfect. We'll start right away. But would you take your shoes off, please? The Roombas just made a pass-through here, and they get so fussy if they have to clean things twice. Thank you, mistress. I'll take those to your room later, but for now we can start touring. So you've seen the foyer, the main stairs, and you caught me in the kitchen, but there's still plenty more on the first floor. This is the lounge, and right through there is the dining room. Yes, it is a very open floor plan, mistress. Some years ago, the Mistress Sophia was something of a claustrophobe, so she blew out most of the non-essential walls. It makes for a very spacious feel. There's the parlor, and that mousy door leads to the old servants' quarters. I'm sorry to say it's a little dusty in there, mistress. Why don't we head upstairs? The only things left on the first floor are a few bathrooms and the Roomba's closet. Right this way then, mistress. This is the master bedroom. I assume you'll be wanting it. Each mistress tends to decorate it to their own liking, but I've insisted on keeping a few things from each of your relatives. You'll find the closet has a few of the best outfits from the last few centuries. If you're ever going to attend a ball, your grand-aunts have you covered. Yes, the sound system is quite complete. Henrietta loved the radio, so when the first televisions came around, she practically jumped on them. She upgraded the systems in the house until the day she left, so I think you'll find everything here to be at least passably modern. Oh, I wouldn't know. I'm hopeless with technology. I can barely keep the toaster from exploding in the morning. I don't stand a chance with these things. Oh, mistress, I assure you there are more hobbies to be had than those screens. First and foremost, I keep the house. But I don't sleep, so that rarely consumes all my time. I knit. Sometimes I paint a little. I read. Reading really helps me keep up with the times. You mean the cupola? Oh, I suppose those have fallen out of modern design, haven't they? Well, it's sort of a watchtower. I'm sure you saw it on your way in. It's all painted white, so it stands out like icing on a cake. Well, down the hall there's a little staircase that takes you up to it. It has enormous windows, and it's high enough that you can see everything around here. The gardens, the forest's edge, the stars. Show you? Of course, mistress, I'd love to. Yes, right this way. The spiral is a little thin, so be sure to stay near the wall. Don't worry about dirt. I scrub the stones often. Ta-da! The crown jewel of your mansion. Normally I'd have the lamps lit for you, but we ran out of oil a long time ago. Henrietta always dragged her feet on buying more. I think she liked staying in the dark. But when the lamps are all lit, the orange glow bathes the mansion, and you can really see how beautiful it is. But the dark is nice too, because the darker it is, the better you can see the stars. tell the truth, Henrietta and I used to spend our evenings up here from time to time, watching the stars. That's what the blankets are for. There's something about being up high, with the feeling of being so far removed from all the hustle and bustle of the mansion. It's quiet, and it really has a way of clarifying things. I'm sure Henrietta was thinking about what would happen to her next, and planning for it. And I was thinking about our time together, those little moments we shared when no one else was around. Those are my favorite memories. Quiet time spent with someone who understood me completely. Those moments will always be special to me, even though she's gone now. She was a wonderful mistress. May I... Mistress, that is, if you are comfortable with it, may I ask you to stay here with me? I mean, not just in the cupola, at the mansion. I can't leave. When I wander too far from the estate, it hurts. If you go, it'll just be me, until you leave this estate to someone else. I'd be glad to serve you in any way you'd like. I won't make you stay, but could I, your humble servant, ask you to stay with me? Thank you, mistress. You have no idea how much that means to me. Here, there's this sort of a little game I've played with all of the mistresses who came before you. It's quite simple. We look out at the sky and make up our own constellations. I used to spend so many nights up here, just looking at them and making up stories. It's one of the things I've missed most since Henrietta passed away. But it's nice to have someone to share it with again. Thank you for coming up here with me, mistress. Well, I've been doing this for a while, so I've already got a few. If you connect those 3 stars with that cluster on the right, it kind of looks like a monkey. And that circle has a really bright star on one edge, so I've always called it a crown. But my favorite is always this little cluster that kind of looks like a heart. It's just a bunch of random stars, but when you connect them, it feels like they were meant to be together. I guess that's what life feels like sometimes, too. Something beautiful and chaotic all at once. Look at those. It looks like a bear to me. Big and lumbering, but with a heart of gold. And that one looks a little bit like a sword. And you can always find the lion because the sword is pointing straight at it. It's so magical, watching the stars twinkle and knowing that there are endless stories out there just waiting to be discovered. And, mistress, I can't wait to discover them with you.